Bass beating down your block, boy. Bass beating down your block, boy. All I hang around is block boys. In my pocket, that's a knot, boy. Think you hot, but you not, boy. Bass beating down your block, boy. Bass beating down your block, boy. Bass beating down your block, stunting.
Honda with a hatchback, sport mode, one button. Good luck trying to catch that. Shit don't fall in love, but fell in love with the music. In the 10 speed, smacking curves down in Houston.
Loki season 2 hunting Victor Timely through history.
I'm Eric Boss, and Loki season 2 is taking shape as a hunt for one of the earliest Kang variants, Victor Timely. Where in the world is Victor Timely? Actually, they did a time version of Carmen Sandiego, so wasn't it where in time is Victor Timely? I'm gonna stop singing now. Of all the Kangs we met in the post-credit scenes,
Whoa, wait.
is Victor Timely? I'm gonna stop singing now. Of all the Kangs we met in the post-credit scenes of Ant-Man the Wasp: Quantumania, this 1901 Thomas Edison figure with his astounding temporal marvels definitely has us the most curious, as it has now been confirmed to be an actual scene from season 2 of Loki, written and directed by that crew, not by the Quantumania team. So secretive that Marvel will not even tell us what episode it's from, because that apparently will be a...
Why would you tell us which episode it's from? Why? That doesn't make sense. I would not want you to tell us what episode it's from. The fuck? That's like saying, bro, that's literally saying like, oh, this scene is from, let's just say like Avengers Endgame, but we're not gonna tell you where exactly in Avengers Endgame. Like, bro, no, like, of course don't tell us. The fuck? That's how it works.
Just hope it is from the episode that.
Why? Why you gotta put that in the? Why you gotta put that in the fucking, in the article? Yeah, this is from Loki season 2, but we're not gonna tell you which episode it's from. Duh.
Actually, in the season, you know, we've been tricked before. It hurts, you know, it hurts like getting burned out of time hurts. But Loki and Mobius targeting Victor Timely in particular actually plugs in with a lot of what we know about Loki season 2 and really provides the missing link that crystallizes the plot structure of the upcoming season. By the way, subscribe to our new channel, The Deep Dive, where I did an insanely detailed look back into Loki season 1, and you can support our growing network by grabbing some merch at nerdriot.shop, like something from The Deep.
You know what? I was already excited for Loki season 2 because I really enjoyed Loki, the first season of Loki. Yo, season 2, just off of this alone, and after the events of watching Ant-Man and the Quantum Mania, I'm really more excited for Loki
Deep Dive collection. Okay, to quickly recap the second post-credit scene, check nerdriot.shop, like something from the Deep Dive collection. Okay. To quickly recap the second post-credit scene, we find ourselves in an early 20th century exhibition hall. I've seen some people call this the 1920s, but I think 1920s is just what people who didn't pay attention during A-Push call anything pre-depression. These aren't flappers, Sonny. This is Victorian era garb, which means turn of the century. We're talking Rose's mom in Titanic, which does line up nicely with the 1901 date that is often used with Victor Timely from the comics. Here, Victor steps out on a stage with an instrument that looks like the rings of an engine all pulled apart, some kind of cylindrical object. Off on the side, a banner reads, Victor Timely and his astounding temporal marvels. Victor says, time is everything. It shapes our lives, but perhaps we can shape it. I will admit my impression of what Jonathan Majors does pales in comparison, but I just love the choices he makes. I cannot help but try to do them myself. But Loki and Mobius are in the crowd, and Loki says, it's him. Mobius says, you made him sound like this terrifying figure. Wow. And Loki says, he is. Peyton Reed confirmed to IndieWire that this is a scene from Loki season 2, and that Jonathan Majors was going for a period voice, in his words.
It's a scene from season 2 of Loki, and Victor Timely is yet another variant from the comics. Reed said, I love Jonathan's look and his sort of period voice and his Frederick Douglass hair. That scene there was just another glimpse of sort of, okay, there are all these variants, and here's maybe the next one you might meet. We like that idea. Ooh.
Frederick Douglass Hare. Frederick Douglass was an abolitionist, a writer, and orator, one of the most prominent men of his time in the late 19th century. In the real world, historical timeline is really the heart of the Loki series. Remember, season 1 touched on the real-life historical events like the eruption of Mount Vesuvius over Pompeii in 79 AD.
It fits in.
The hijacking of Flight 305 by D.B. Cooper in 1971, the urban legend of the USS Eldridge in the Philadelphia experiment from 1943, and then extrapolated forward into the future to all the natural disasters that will happen over the next 50 years. But now, it seems like season 2 is going to extrapolate that further back to the way Kang variants have already influenced world history. The interesting thing about Victor Timely is that he is actually one of the disguises that Kang wears, an attempt to hide in plain sight, as opposed to Kang taking on a new out and proud villainous form like Immortus, Pharaoh Rama-Tut, or Scarlet Centurion.
So is that how each Kang was? At least with like the Amon-Ra Tut Kang? Like it's Kang, but he's decided to go with that?
Actually one of the disguises that Kang wears, an attempt to hide in plain sight, as opposed to Kang taking on a new out and proud villainous form like Immortus, Pharaoh Rama-Tut, or Scarlet Centurion.
Okay, so he did it to hide.
By the way, that futuristic Kang was confirmed to be based on, according to Peyton Reed, even though he looks absolutely nothing like.
Oh shit, did I mute?
First appeared on, according to Peyton Reed, even though he looks absolutely nothing like Scarlet Centurion. But Victor Timely first appeared in the 1992 Captain America Annual Number 11, the Citizen Kang storyline, in which this Kang variant establishes the town of Timely, Wisconsin, and runs it as its mayor, an inventor, and industrialist who specializes in technology and robotics. While he was introducing this advanced tech to the people of Timely, secretly, this Kang was building his base city of Chronopolis just slightly out of sync with the time stream right beside Chronopolis, making it fall within a paradox and be fully undetectable. During this time, Kang's longtime love interest of Ravonna Renslayer begins living with Victor Timely, going under the pseudonym of Rebecca Termine, the same name that, we should note, the Loki finale made sure to display on
Wait, so are we gonna see her? And we have to see her in here, right? So are they gonna? So now, okay, now I'm curious on how they're gonna play. Or how, not even play, but how, like, how it's gonna look tying her in. So is she gonna be in that timeline with him?
Renslayer's past life diploma in her school principal office. It's also worth noting that Victor Timely employed a young Dr. Phineas Horton in the comics. Phineas Horton would one day create the original Human Torch, and that the robotics technology that Victor developed during these years included a failsafe that would later get encoded into every Sentinel. You know, the X-Men hunters. So that later, when the safe that
one of those time periods was the early part of the previous century. I was active in the guise of Victor Timely, scientist and businessman, and I had quite an influence over a then dawning industry, specifically the robotics industry.
Would later get encoded into every.
Oh, there's SWORD. There's SWORD right here.
Every Sentinel. You know, the X-Men hunters. So that later, when the government.
They launched 75 of them around 3 locations around Washington. Their Sentinels were really created. Combat rogue mutants, but more and more they have become an important part of the federal government's contingency plans against supernormal threats. 75 Sentinels, each with the power to level a small
government tries to deploy Sentinels during the Kang Dynasty storyline. Kang commandeers these Sentinels and turns them back against Earth. I think all of this is going into Victor Timely in season 2 of Loki. And this moment with Loki and Mobius will either be the opening scene of the season, maybe the cold open, from which we will flash back into where season 1 left off in the TVA, or maybe this scene will be the final scene of season 2 episode 1. But it's going to be a significant moment. What we don't know yet is whether Victor Timely always existed in MCU history, the one that we've watched.
To be honest, I don't think it's gonna be the last scene in Loki. I don't think it is, and maybe I don't think I don't know if it might be even the last episode either.
Or only now just spawned into existence as a result of Sylvie's actions in the season 1 finale. Both options could be hinted at to be simultaneously true. Like, if my theory is true that Avengers Tower is occupied by Mr. Griffin, CEO of Kang Enterprises, the MCU never really has to state if he was there right after Spider-Man Homecoming, before the events of Loki season 1 occurred or not. It would kind of be hard to even say that, because all of Loki season 1 took place outside of time. There's really a branch extracted from 2012, but even that branch was pruned. Really, everything that happened in Loki took place outside of time and affected all of time at once. But really, the question is, did Victor Timely and the other Kangs influence the other MCU events that we have seen? Well, at least some of them, yes. Rama-Tut appeared on that Cairo Kid's jacket in Moon Knight, so the world of Moon Knight was at least in part. Yes, Rama-Tut appeared on that.
Huh. Okay. Bro, that yo, what they said about they might be the cause of the events in from the Avengers movies. Yo, honestly, if that's the case, then that could change a lot. Meaning, that could change a lot. That could do that. That could be a game changer if that's really the case. Because now they have a not only can they not only use the variants as a scapegoat to, like, you know, bring in the right characters, or the, like, you know, the true characters, but you could really find a way to, if Robert Downey Jr. really want to play Iron Man again, you could really find a way to bring him back because of all this, or even bring back Captain America or Black Widow. Like these events might like actually be a game changer to bring back our favorite actors and heroes, which is kind of dope.
Cairo Kid's jacket, Moon Knight. So the world of Moon Knight was at least in part shaped by Kang. And if they keep that Phineas Horton connection from the comics, Phineas Horton's name appeared alongside Howard Stark at the 1943 Stark Expo in the first Captain America.
Holy shit! What the yo? How do I miss this shit, bro? This shit was literally in Captain America. And I was looking at this shit, like, every time I watched Captain America, I would peep this shit. So, like, how did I miss this? Literally, if nobody knows, Phineas Horton is the inventor who created an android, and the android was like the first ever Human Torch. So, like, back then they did, like, it was a run with the android that was the Human Torch, Captain America, and Namor. I think that was the three I remember. But and the only reason I remember that is because I always question, like, how come there's a Human Torch back then and he has no face, he doesn't talk? And to find out he was an android.
Film. So the earliest Stark technology from that era, like, think about it, the mysterious Vita rays that were used to enhance Steve Rogers into Captain America, Super Soldier program tech that also gave us the Hulk, all of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s weaponry, all Avengers really could be rooted in Victor Timely technology. That is why I think Loki and Mobius are seeking Victor Timely in particular. You know, the other Kangs like Rama Tut, they seek to conquer ancient Egypt and only get so far, but Victor Timely picked the dawn of the 20th century, and he laid low, and he got way further just as a man behind the curtain. He is really what set off the chain reaction of events that led to the Super Soldier program, Hydra, the Avengers Initiative, Earth getting in the crosshairs of Thanos, and most importantly for his own existence, Tony Stark cracking the code of time travel with the inverted Mobius strip. Now, I have speculated that Victor Timely in the town of Timely, Wisconsin could actually be the origin of the TVA as we know it. That origin was a big mystery deliberately raised and never answered in season 1.
I'd like all files pertaining to the creation of the TVA.
Those are classified.
I need all the files on the founding of the TVA. Everything from the beginning of time.
Well, that's a mighty tall order. Some things had to get worked out, but I'm downloading the files you need now.
This isn't what I asked for.
I know, but he thinks this'll be more useful.
I believe that Victor Timely might have been an alias used by He Who Remains, which speaks to why he's such a showman on that stage. Like, the other Kangs are either...
So wait, so Victor Timely is He Who Remains?
really quiet and regal or real rowdy and untamed, but both Victor Timely and He Remains are performers who hit their marks. I think the device on that stage might actually be the first prototype of the reset charge, in that Victor Timely will use this to erase the town of Timely out of the timeline and use it to build his TVA.
There's too much time. There's too much. Why Victor Timely? Time, like, what?
Just notice that Victor Timely, like He Who Remains, bears no facial scarring like most other Kangs do. I think that's because all the others have cybernetic parts. Kang the Conqueror has his neurokinetic implants. Rama Tut, we just saw, is half android. And this could actually explain why Scarlet Centurion was given this weird robotic body. This could all connect to why, when Loki was first processed through the TVA, there was an entire stage.
Holy shit! That's why they asked about the robots, about the android shit. That makes so much sense now. Because at the time, it was a joke and all that, but, like, that makes so much sense.
To determining whether or not you were a robot. He Who Remains and Victor Timely, not robots. They were the Kang that invented all other robotics that future Avengers and X-Men, Fantastic Four, and Kang Dynasty members use. And so, Season 2 of Loki will be a scavenger hunt through history of 20th century American technology in the real world and in the MCU, weapons tech and consumer tech, to show how it all had the signature of one man. Hey, a reminder to subscribe to our new...
I'm actually excited now. Like, bro, okay, so like the reason I really enjoyed, and I know like a lot of people didn't really enjoy Ant-Man that much, but the reason I enjoyed it because I seen the potential of where they could take Kang and all that. And so hearing all this for Season 2 of Loki just proves my point even further. Like, bro, this man's about to be, he's about to be the best villain, like, out of, like, other than, like, Thanos, bro. Like, this, bro. Holy shit. So they do have, like, I'm not saying they never had a plan, but they really have a plan now, which is kind of crazy. Holy shit. All right. I'm in for it. Like, what the fuck?